going on, fellas?
Sparring Minds pre-show. Y'all good?
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Back. Yes, sir.
How am I sign on that on y'all end?
Sounds fine. Sounds
Yeah.
fine.
All right.
Good, man.
Okay.
No concerns.
Cool.
You get that shipment today, Little?
Yes, I did. I thought it was something else, and so I came around the corner and I was disappointed. But then I was like, oh well, But it is. I love my shoes, of course, but I was looking for something else, though. I was definitely looking for something else.
Okay. Just so you know, the plug came through again, Chuck.
The plug.
Yeah, the plug, man.
Minds, episode 98.
I'm not going to showcase them tonight, though. I'm not going to showcase them.
No, you gotta wait, man. Those things are too clean, man.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna need another pair.
Oh, I don't know. Things went quick.
Nah, not my size. I can't tell you.
You're not gonna show us?
I can't tell you.
Nah, you can't show those off yet.
Okay. I can't tell you.
Too much snow.
Let me ask y'all a question while I got y'all. So, and we already know y'all response is gonna be like, yeah, Chuck, you was wrong. That's always the case around here, but
of course.
So, as y'all know, February is my wife's birthday month, right? And so,
okay, Faye, where we going?
You should be telling her. You don't ask her.
You know what? You're right. I'll call her.
But yeah, let Chuck finish the story, man, before we ran in his parade.
I no longer want to go through this story. We went out to this motherfucking restaurant that she's been wanting to go to, right? And so we get there and we order. First off, it's expensive. The restaurant's expensive as fuck. That's first off. Okay, sidebar, cool.
Bougie?
Yeah, that's why she likes it, because So we got there and we were ordering drinks. So again, nothing special. And then we ordered the apps. So we ordered 2 separate apps. We were planning on chilling and chit-chatting for the night, so we was in no rush. We ordered the 2 apps. We ordered some kind of buffalo wings, as an example. I can't remember what it was. No, it was cheese curds, pardon me. So we ordered the cheese curds, right? And then we ordered crab cakes. Which, again, we chit-chat and we chilling like you would do on a casual dinner, right?
Yeah.
So we ate the cheese curds first. Hey, these are all right. You know what I mean? Cool. We got to the crab cakes, and they were cold. Now, y'all know me. I'm from the dirt. I don't understand when your food's cold, you send this shit back to the kitchen, right? I'm like, this is cold. Y'all expensive ass motherfucking restaurant. I need this to be right. So the waitress said to me, and this shit stuck in my head a little bit. Waitress said, has it been sitting there, or that's what she said, right?
That's not her job. She said that.
She said, oh well, either way, I'll go talk to the chef. Little white girl, cool. She runs off, goes talk to the chef. After she runs off, I realize, you know what? We've been sitting here for like 10 minutes just chit-chatting eating the cheese curds. I've forgotten all about the crab cakes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
it could have been your fucking fault.
It's really my fault. It was really my fault. Cool. So the chef comes out later with her, like, here you go, guys. Here's a fresh order of crab cakes. We apologize. And in my head, I'm like, you really don't have to apologize. But I wanted to try the crab cakes fresh. So, am I a villain for that? For being like, nah, yeah, good. Thanks for bringing out the. That's all I did. I didn't really say, Am I wrong for that?
Did you pay for
So I had said, nah, it's my fault, bro. I apologize to you. I really took too long to eat.
Nah.
You don't customer's always right.
Yeah.
Even when he's wrong.
I was dead ass wrong, bro. I was dead ass wrong. Payne, what up, God?
I'm glad you realized that, though.
I realized it after the fact.
That's
but then
usually the case.
I didn't feel bad once the bill came. Fuck out of here.
Oh, so he didn't give you the free. He didn't give it to you for free.
Oh,
he
never
did.
Did it?
Yeah, he did. But the bill was already expensive as shit anyway, so I didn't give a fuck.
But you're definitely the villain because you got it for free. There ain't no need to complain.
Like I said, I knew y'all were gonna call me the bad guy. Payne, you good, God?
I'm always gonna call you the bad guy.
Fucking dealing with this dumbass weather.
Nigga, it's 75 outside, brother. I don't know what you're talking about.
Man, I don't need to hear you.
Are you wearing long sleeves right now saying that?
Right.
Wife got the AC on. It's a little hot outside.
Yeah, okay. 75 degrees outside.
Mother Nature only 5 minutes.
Damn
groundhog.
Let's do this for shit. Let's get this shit out the way. Cause I really don't want to waste time on it. Nick Cannon, 8 kids.
DMX 25.
Hightower says. You have 25 kids? No, you don't. You got like 12.
Somebody said it was like 25.
No.
That's wild if it was. Can you imagine having 25 kids, yo?
No, I don't think you got 25.
No, you don't even know those motherfuckers.
I also heard something like after 12 kids, you don't pay no longer or some shit. Some stupid shit like that.
I guarantee that's not the case.
What?
Yeah. Hey, I don't know.
That
was just something I heard.
Every club possible, if that was the case.
Black people good for making up their own rules, bro.
Probably so.
Well, after 11 kids, you don't have to pay any. Get the fuck out of here. That's some black people shit. That's some Robitussin on your chest shit, right? That's some shit like we just made up, nigga. Like, what?
I mean, at that point, the kids start paying for themselves, right?
Right.
What the fuck?
Y'all got a problem with Nick having that many kids?
No, he got the money.
No.
He got a rich BM.
Even if he didn't have the money, I mean, it'd be a little more, eye raising if he, didn't have the money. Because now it's like, all right, well, how can you properly, support and take care of these kids? But, it helps that he got the money.
Yeah, he got
a baby. Yeah.
And he takes care of them. So.
My question is, are they all in the same area?
No, I don't think so.
You know what I mean? Like, are they all in like Cali, or are they all in like New York, or are they like scattered across the 50 states?
I'm not sure.
That's 8
I
states.
see where you're going. How do you properly care for all of them? Give them enough time.
But to me, really, I think it goes deeper than that. It's really about. Listen, I'm big on family structure. I tell you all about that all the time, right? So while Nick is having 8 kids with 8 different women, and that's whatever, if you guys have an understanding, do your thing, right? But broken down in that is the loss or the degradation of the black family structure, right? No longer is dad in the house with mom raising. That's not the case here. Dad flies in on the weekends. You know what I mean? And that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what that does to the family.
Imagine if this was a situation where, and just to clarify, he has 8 kids by 5 different women, I think, because Mariah got 2.
Okay.
I think another lady got 2, and then the other, 4 or whatever, But imagine if he curated that household where they all live together. So he's raising these kids, the ones he has, direct access to.
Man, you're asking for trouble, man. There's too many personalities in that crib, man. The family structure designed for mother, father, or husband, wife, whatever that is, and then you go down. When you have six baby mother living in the crib, there's a lot of estrogen and there's a lot of energy in there that Nick has to manage on a daily basis, consistently. That's a lot.
I feel like when you got money like that, man, that'll sort itself out.
You sure? I doubt it.
That's the answer I expect from a Hightower, where the only thing that matters is money. The only thing that matters is money. So of course he's like, throw a couple Benjamins at you. Get the fuck out of here.
Listen. This isn't some newfound phenomenon. Like, women are attracted to men with money. Period.
That don't mean they're gonna act right.
They're gonna act better.
Nah.
No, they're not.
Definitely not.
Why are we talking about gold diggers again? Why is that something that's now? Why is that a positive here? Why is that something that we're promoting?
Definitely you went off the rails.
Get the fuck out of here, Ant. Women who think money is a top priority are losers. Fellas, Sparring Minds listeners, don't marry them. That's the good answer.
Them. You just had kids with them. So by your logic, he's cool.
Yeah.
Right?
One of these shows we're gonna talk about you and this obsession with money, man, and why it takes precedence over character or integrity, things that kind of matter. Like,
No. I mean, for me and mine, it doesn't. But I understand the logic. Like, I mean, money can solve a lot of things. So it's up to you to control your emotions and your level of happiness, right?
I don't know what. I guess I never understood what money solves. Never understood.
Well,
that.
let me ask you this: who controls your emotions, you or your spouse?
We're gonna get into that. Give me half an hour. Give me a half an hour. We're gonna talk about that.
All right.
We're gonna talk
You
about
say
that.
spouse? Twin back there,
I
peanut
agree.
gallery.
I agree. And I think we'll talk about that once we get into that segment, because that's really what we're doing today.
Yep.
Is kind of narrating how your happiness and mental health and all that stuff play a role within itself. So let's talk some more about that. You know what? 7:26. Can we just go now?
We'll go for
Now
it.
I want to get into it.
Yeah, let's get right to it.
You okay with that, Payne?
I'm with it.
Little?
You asking me?
Yeah, I'm trying to be respectful. You see, like one of the.
You know he's gonna say the opposite of what everyone else just said.
Little got his drink. He ready.
We got 3 minutes. We could talk about. Well, actually, we got 4. We could talk about something else.
See what I'm saying? Now, yo, Payne, it's crazy. It's crazy, nigga. Ever since you said that shit, Payne, about Little, every time I talk to him, I hear that shit happen. Little, it's raining outside. No, it's not. Nigga, fuck, are you looking? Everything I say is the exact opposite, P. Just because. I don't get this nigga, man.
Need to change that name to
But
thing too.
but we got 3 minutes.
All right, Little. So talk to us for 3 minutes.
You got me. Help me out with the 3 minutes.
I mean, we could talk about that snowstorm and how girls were mad that they didn't have men at home trying to dig them out.
That's because they're
Wait, you
strong,
mean the shovel,
independent.
or-
Yeah. Hey. you know.
Then it's, when you strong, independent, bad bitch, you don't.
Yeah, go get your rose. Go get your rose to dig you out.
Facts. I'm with you 100%, bro.
I'm not touching that one.
Yeah.
I'm not touching that one. Y'all on the
I'm with you
island on
100%.
yourself, by yourself.
Why, Aunt? If they didn't need, if men wasn't shit all year long,
Why they shit
Nah.
when it's
why they shit when it's 3 feet of snow?
Now I need my car dug out. I need a man. You don't get the fuck out of here.
And you not a man if you didn't volunteer.
No. That's just poor planning on their part.
Poor planning. What you mean?
You know when the snow's coming.
Hey, yo, Aunt, man.
Right?
Yeah.
The meteorologist on there for a reason. They tell you what's going on. You better plan accordingly. Unblock that dude. Get your car shoveled out, and you'll be all right. It's only for a season.
Every week on this show, Aunt, you always take the role of Captain Save These Women.
No, not at all.
And I never understand it.
I'm taking the role of, if you knew better, you do better.
Yeah.
And if these
Now
women
go
knew
get your
better,
rose.
they do better, and they'd have a guy out here shoveling them out.
Yeah. Now for the guy right now, you're a scoundrel. But for the woman, you're a genius.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not
I
sure.
don't have to deal with that, but whatever.
Fuck out of here. I wish I would. Man.
All right. We got 1 minute. What do you want to do, Chuck?
No, you dudes, man. We could talk about. I mean, there's always shit to talk about, right? We could talk about. This is Ant. Let's play truth or dare, Ant.
Shit.
Truth.
I'm talking to Hightower the other day on the phone, right? Hightower says to me, "Yo, Chuck, I burned my bagel." So, yeah, what the fuck are we talking about? How the fuck are you gonna burn a bagel, right? Because you're not in the kitchen. Like, what happened to your wait staff? They don't cook the bagels, Aunt? Oh, I gave her the day off, and so I had to get in here and make my own bagel. Sparring Minds, man. Episode 99!
muzzle. Sparring Minds live every Friday. Let's go. Look, it's Sparring Minds. If you don't know the name, look us up. You know it's all facts when you got Chef Maine cooking up a couple of brothers who know all about the struggle. Black excellence, you know we just work hard and hustle. Whenever you want that urban talk, you know we keep it real. Mr. Maritime on the mic, yeah, you know the deal is real life. Hotel Hight Tower bringing you the feel. DJ Payne, keep it 100. Matter of fact, keep it a mill. Let's go. Let's go.
Sparring Minds, episode 99. Welcome back to the viewers, of course. Welcome back to the fellas.
Welcome back.
Yeah, we got a pretty deep show lined up. What the hell's wrong with Payne?
I don't know. He's showing off the
From
waves.
the camera or some shit? Oh, that's what it was.
He's getting me seasick.
Yeah, I can dig it. Chef, what's good, baby?
Yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Sam Little.
This dude doing intros by himself.
Why not? Right? Why not?
Why not?
We got a guest coming on this week because we're gonna talk about some shit. Chef, you with us, baby?
Yo.
There we go.
What up, man?
What's good, man? You all right?
What up, fellas? Yeah, running late. You know, the commitment to my kids to Gallivan on Fridays.
Come on, man.
Nice little spread for them. So
What's up, man?
Nice. That's what's up.
We're always gonna support that.
Oh, and congratulations.
Yes,
thank you, brother. Thank
Come
you.
on,
Thank
man.
you.
Congrats on the new employment opportunities for our brother. It's always a good thing. It's a good thing. Maine, the only thing you missed was Hightower's personal chef didn't show up one day this week. We'll talk about it offline. It wasn't nothing crazy. Just he had to fend for himself making breakfast and things went awry. It was a good story. Other than that, man, we got a guest coming on this week, man, and I think it's important for us to talk about some shit that's going on in the black community. And you guys have been updating me all week long with stories that's happening, wrapped around mental health, mental illness, self-care, all that kind of stuff that I know me as a black man we kind of take not as serious as we should. So
Frowned upon, actually. It's actually frowned upon.
Amazing terminology there, Mo. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring in a friend of the show, Sharif Williams. So first off, Reef, what's good with you, brother?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Thanks for having me here. Appreciate y'all.
You know what, Reef? Pardon me, I fumbled that. We normally have Hightower do these real elaborate intros.
In his Barry White voice?
Yeah. That's why we have him do it. That's the whole point.
We're not doing that.
That's why. Hey, fellas, I just wanted to introduce our friend Sharif. And get the fuck out of here with that voice, nigga. Yo, I tell y'all a story about how me and Ant, long time ago, we was in the mall talking to the same chick, right? This nigga's voice got infinitely deeper. Come on, man. I'm like, hi, my name's Charles. So yeah, they call me Hightower. Get the fuck out of here.
Listen, man, my voice has a mind of its own, man. Does its own thing.
Reef, welcome to Sparring Minds, man. It's episode 99.
Thank you. Congrats on episode 99. Y'all about to hit the triple figures.
Yes,
sir. Yes, sir.
I'm watching y'all doing your thing. I respect it.
Trying, man. Trying.
Yeah, they've been stressing my mental health. 99 episodes.
So Reef, from what I understand, obviously I know that you're a teacher in the city, right?
Yes, sir.
And you still, and obviously you're working with the youth on really everything, but really also attacking some of their, being the advocate for how they manage their mental health and that kind of thing, right? I would imagine that's part of what you're doing.
Yeah.
How needed, I guess, is that? Are you seeing in the community? Is that something you're like, it's where we need more of this?
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, honestly, based off what I see with my students, I teach middle school, and so they're anywhere age 12 to 14, 15 sometimes, and it's like something that our school is becoming more aware of, and we're seeing the need for more supports. But I feel like there's definitely a need in the community overall. Honestly, in BPS, I think there's very few schools that have as many counselors as they need, and that's really like a big social workers and stuff that like there's a lack of that in many of the schools in BPS.
What's is again in Hightower's world, the solution to everything is funding, right? So is that the solution here? Is it just more money for those type of services?
It definitely is.
Yeah, I would say so.
But you know what's crazy? There's more, people of help now than they were when we were in school.
Still not enough.
Yeah, right.
Because I feel like the kids nowadays are dealing with way more than we had to deal with.
Are you sure?
What?
Are you sure?
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. That's tough.
I don't think so.
We didn't have social media back then.
Social media is huge.
Okay, so all right. Okay.
So they may have had to deal with what we had to deal with, but now they have additional layers on top of that stuff.
Yeah, and that definitely matters. That definitely
huge.
But that doesn't mean they're dealing with more. It's just more publicized what they're dealing with. Like we still had to deal with like seeing celebrities do this and let's try to be this and dealing with he said, she said, and this, that, and the other. It just wasn't like on social media. It's not. I don't know if it's more. It's just more wide, like more accessible, I guess. But
that's more. And I think the logic behind that is we had time in some certain circumstances to, I don't want to say properly manage because maybe we couldn't properly manage it, but we had time to
be able to hide from some of the stuff that's going on.
You had a moment to step away for a second. Like kids nowadays don't have that moment. They don't have that pause, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like
I see what you're saying.
It's constant, beating them over the head. Every second they do one thing wrong, and there's kids. I imagine the suicide rate's higher now than it was when we were coming up, based on some of that.
Mm.
Yeah, definitely. Good point, Rebecca. The parenting is definitely way different now than it was back then also too. A lot of our parents, it was like back then, it was like, man up or whatever the case may be, like to show an emotional side or anything like that, especially from your dad or, you know what I'm saying? Like depending on the men in your life at the time, it was like, nah, toughen up. You know what I'm saying? It was like, you couldn't show any emotion or that was automatically deemed a sign of weakness. You know what I'm saying? So you couldn't express how you really felt. It was built up tension. Am I wrong? Am I saying this? I see you shaking your head over there. So like,
I think you're right.
Okay, well we know my man's on the island by himself usually, so you know what I mean. He's been wrong this show many a times, Sparring Minds, and what he's about to say right now is just gonna add to him.
Yeah, it's irrelevant.
I'm sorry, my brother. The floor is yours.
Well played. Nah, man. Listen, man. I'm from the time when. First off, I'm from the time when men had to act accordingly. We had to be a stronger presence, and so when I got those messages from my pops and from my uncles, and it was like, yo, I got hit playing football, and I wanted to cry, and them niggas like, you better not fucking cry out here, and I was like, I got you. And so what that does is that builds to me what kids lack today, which is internal fortitude, right? It builds an internal strength of me being able to deal with things within myself, right? Before it becomes some external explosion that needs to. It don't need to be that, man. So I pride myself on being able to self-manage my issues. That's an important thing. And it goes down to my sons as well. I have no issue with saying that.
But even then, that's not
crazy.
That's not healthy yet. That's not healthy either. Yeah.
Nah. I totally disagree with you.
That's not healthy. That's not healthy at all, brother. God bless you. You know what I'm saying?
I totally agree. And that's why I think it's important to have this conversation, Reef. I don't know if, from the seam of it, we're never going to agree. Because I think there's a strength from being able to take shots and being able to be like, okay, this is how I manage that. That's an important thing for me, man. I think that's missing from today's kids. That's why today's kids, like Ed just said earlier, That's why you have all these suicide rates that are crazy high. That's why kids don't know how to manage, because they were never told by somebody, yo, like, try to compartmentalize problems and not make it a big world-blowing thing. It don't have to be that. It don't have to be.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah,
Like,
but today's kids don't get that.
Situation
According to Aunt and Jermaine, everything's the end of the world, and so we need to have a counselor and therapist. And no, you don't need that.
Every situation is different, but I'm saying to walk around with pent up feelings or whatever the case may be because you're worried about it making you look less than a man. That's crazy, bro. That is crazy. So like I said, God bless you if you're able to manage it and do that. But that's my father and the older men in my life were telling me that, but that wasn't the right thing to do. That wasn't the right thing to tell me, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and I also think Ant made a good point earlier that like these kids these days are literally getting hit left and right nonstop with it. You can't step away from it. It's on the kid's cell phone that they have going on with them. It's on their computers. They hear it from their friends all the time. They're getting hit with it from every angle at all times. There's no like, oh, let me just go hide in the house. In the house, you have all those things available too. Yep. So they're getting hit from a lot of different angles that we didn't see. I'm not saying that, you know, they have it worse than us, but I think they have it differently and they see it in a lot of different ways that we just, you know, can't even imagine what it was like.
And being able to have an outlet to express yourself helps, like, man, like, and like I was saying, like, taking from a person that is known as a ticking time bomb, I'm calm 95% of the time. But that 5%, and Maine see me at a 5 and was like, oh shit. Like,
yo,
don't hold that shit in. Like, therapy
yo, I would have never been able to believe Kamani could even get to that level, yo. I'm just gonna keep it. But I never Sam, you were right there. You can attest to it.
He from Ripley Road. Let's not get it twisted.
When I finally explode and it's bad, I don't remember what the fuck happened. Like, I'm gone. Like, we can't let like kids get to that point. Like, being able to express yourself is important, man.
So I don't want to be misconstrued. I think what my point is that because you guys are talking right now about pent up feelings, right? All I'm saying is that from a young child, you should be taught
how to deal with certain
manage those feelings. Don't build them up. I understand what you're saying. You don't want to build them up and not address them. What I'm saying is learn internally how to address them. Oh my God, Aunt called me fat today. I'm just going to go and... No. Internally understand, you know what? That's Aunt's opinion. That's Aunt's thought. It doesn't necessarily mean I have to now move a certain way. Once you can do that in your own head, you can do that with any kind of problem.
That doesn't always work for everybody, though.
Self-solve.
It's not that cut and dry.
You're talking about kids.
You're talking about kids.
You're talking about kids.
Like, did your family give you some ways to like deal with these things? Like, if someone said you were too fat, like, what would they say to you?
No. So again, now I grew up in the black family like we all did, right? So in the 80s, in the 90s, there wasn't a guide or a blueprint, right? It was, this is a true story. Like, I used to have similar anger issues like Payne was describing, right? And the solution was always, yo, go to your room and cool off till that shit's over with. That was how black families were run back in my time, right? And so in that time in my room, I said, you know what? Like, how can I self-manage these things so that I don't hit the point that Payne's talking about? That's all it is. That's all it is. And I carry the same thing down to my boys. You know what I mean? It's just, yo, you got to be able to govern yourself internally before you can get across the message you're trying to do externally. That's all that is to me. So, yeah, we're never going to agree to that because I think you managing yourself, compartmentalizing is vital to the upbringing of any kids.
No, I think that's vital for sure, and I think that is probably the ultimate solution. But getting to that point, I think is, I guess, the big question mark because not everyone is, one, equipped, and not everyone is, two, properly trained to do so. You know what I mean? We grew up where, you know, grandparents were grandparent ages, and nowadays grandparents are, you know, 39, 40. So, you know, some folks are still trying to get it together themselves. They're not properly equipped to pass down any knowledge like that to the next group.
But some of that strength comes from the journey of finding that correct answer, right? So for me, oh my God, absolutely. For me, it was going and trying to compartmentalize, and then it was maybe that's not working the way I want. Let me write a journal. So I had a journal for years, and I'm doing that.
But you just finished saying your uncles told you from the gate, you better not do that.
Right.
So that's where it started for you.
Correct.
Okay, what I'm saying is a lot of these kids don't have that starting spot, that starting point.
Because you and Jermaine just said you guys are villains for telling the kids don't do that.
No, that's not what we said at all.
I didn't say that. I said it wasn't right for. I said it wasn't right for them to say that at that time because it wasn't. No, it wasn't. I don't think so. Just man up and like you fucking crazy. Like that's why people walk around with so much trauma these days, man. You know.
Yeah. Being told to man up has nothing to do with trauma. Why are they related?
Well, you know, my uncles used to be like, my uncles definitely used to be like, man up. But at the same time, they would sit there and listen, I got you, relax. You know, they obeyed me a little bit, and kind of coached me into how to, deal with it or get over it. But
and what
just a simple man up just didn't work.
But what you had to understand, Little, was like the uncles and the father that we had, like Ant was intimating earlier, they're still trying to figure it out. Because they were at the age that we are now, right? Mm-hmm. So man up to them was the solution. And I understand that, right? But then for us, once we are told that is when the journey actually begins. That's why that statement of, yo, man up, yo, toughen up, or that's why that's important, especially for young black men. That's an important statement because then it starts our journey on how can I be mentally strong? How can I mentally lift these weights? So that when other things come to challenge me later in life, I've been lifting for this. I'm prepared to deal with drama that might come from this. It's because I've been lifting and I've been getting myself right.
And that can be true, but it also comes a point where you're learning from a valuable teacher.
Of course, that's.
And all we're saying is there's not a lot of those teachers.
Everybody don't have a valuable teacher.
I get that.
You could be getting taught to do things the wrong way,
right?
And pick up that wrong habit,
right?
Before you know it, you're a juvenile and you're in a mess of trouble.
Yeah, we're gonna disagree.
No, I think we're saying the same thing. I think it's just a matter of there's a red thread between them that is, high and low, so to speak. I think we're speaking to somewhat of the same language.
You know what? You know what's lost in today's youth, and Reef, I'll ask you about this as well. It's because us now as 40-year-olds, we feel like we got shit figured out, right? We have a blueprint of, hey, you're going through this, like, here's some avenues. Payne was talking about therapy earlier. There's some avenues that you can go, right? What's lost in today's kids, Reef, is trial and error. Is trying to do something, failing, and then working at another solution. Kids don't have that anymore because everything's kind of laid out for them. And so there's no strength, there's no fortitude being developed. Would you say that's an accurate statement?
I wouldn't say there's no fortitude being developed. They're developing fortitude against different situations. So, like, I agree with you as far as like, you want to experience things and you learn from those experiences, and that
sure.
Eventually leads to your actions and who you are.
Of course.
But I think they're definitely developing fortitude in a completely different way. That's really all it is. I can't say that they don't have it, and the reason why I say that is that like I have some tough students, some students that like have dealt with a lot of things. Like I've had students that have dealt with parental deaths during school, coming to school the very next day. Mm-hmm. I have students who have their parents actually get arrested in school while they're visiting us. The cops saw them come, they arrested. Like there's a lot of situations these kids are dealing with, and it's they have a different kind of pain, and they're building fortitude against a different kind of pain. It's not necessarily the same things that we dealt with.
So I mean, fellas, please feel free to jump in, but I think that those are super traumatic situations, right? And I think that while those are super rare, that requires a different type of assessment.
No.
That requires a different type of assessment rather than some kid who couldn't date the girl that he wanted to and now he's feeling suicidal. That's a different kind of thing.
But see, you're saying super rare, but what I'm saying is that's not that rare for these kids coming up. It's a lot more common for these new generations of kids than it was for us. We had to deal with not being liked or being bullied or being called names. That's where the sticks and stone thing came from. But nowadays, these kids is getting taken out over some of this nonsense. It's a lot different. So I don't want to say I don't want to minimize it to say it's a rare or it's a super rare case because I think that's a lot more common nowadays than it's been in the past. Way more common.
Those cases that Reef was talking about are super spectacular. I bet if I asked Reef right now how often that happened in a school year, he wouldn't sit here and say, "Oh, there's like 25 cases." That's not the answer. I guarantee that's not.
But he's not the only teacher in the only school. There's a lot of schools in Boston.
And there's a lot of other different like situations. A lot of different I know students who literally they haven't seen their parents for months. They're just living with their siblings. And their siblings are all the same age as them. And this is these are current situations. Like within the last few years, I've seen students like that. I have just cases after cases. They're all dealing with different things. I also do teach a unique group because I'm teaching SEI students, so they're new to the country. So a lot of times, they're just their family's trying to find their footing and such, and so they have, new different situations. But those are some of the best students I've ever had. They come in and they're ready to work. They're tough. They're resilient and such. And they still have their traumas and such, but you're right. Those cases are the extreme cases, but there's a lot of other things that they're dealing with. When they came into there's a thing a policy that we kind of adopted where basically we give kids pencils when they come to school, and the reason why is because there was a time there was a video we watched a couple years ago where it was like a woman talking about, it might have been a TED talk. The woman was talking about how she's a teacher and the student came to school and like the person next to her, the teacher next to her, like went off on the student. Like, you don't have a pencil and like whatever. And the student confided in this other teacher who was doing the TED talk and was basically like, at home, I didn't eat this morning. I had to walk my little sister to school and she was late for the school bus. I had to dress myself. I didn't have all the proper clothes to put on. All these, they listed a bunch of things. And even those are not as extreme situations. Those aren't people dying or, witnessing some kind of traumatic things. It is just the everyday grind. And not to say that we didn't deal with that, but I'm saying we can't ignore the fact that those students are dealing with a lot of the same things that we are, but also new things too.
I don't want to diminish. Wow. Yeah, that's super powerful. I don't want to diminish what any kid goes through in any generation, ours or current, right? I will always feel very strongly that every human's first line of defense is their own mental fortitude of how am I going to deal with these problems, right? And I just think that we need to kind of invest more in building internal shields, right? Rather than looking outward for help with that. That's all I feel.
How do you do that?
No, so who do you get that teaching from?
Again, I know for me personally, it just comes from my own trial and error of ways trying to navigate situations. And I can speak from it firsthand, so I know what that feels like.
This
is where therapy comes in. Therapy acts as that conduit to say, hey, look at it this way, because maybe they don't have, like you said, you had the older generation to kind of set you on the right path. Therapists can act as that conduit to set you on the right path when you don't have anyone else behind you to help you. I know you frown on therapy in some of these things, but they have a place in some of these situations.
But the key to what I was saying earlier was it's important that I learn that journey from my own trial and tribulations.
Yeah, but
not by somebody else's blueprint, but by my own.
No. But see, you're using your uncle's blueprint.
No, I disagree with that. I think my uncle would have said, "This is you need to stop this cause." And I'm looking at it, okay, well then what's the effect of that cause? And then how do I stop that?
Case.
Yeah, but he's your therapist.
Yeah.
Basically.
No, I disagree.
No, he definitely is. He definitely is.
He set you on the right track to think differently about a situation, and you've taken that tool and you've adopted it, and now you are who you are. Not everybody has that coach.
It's just like a house. Like if you're the finisher, the carpenter laid the framework. He laid the framework to be able to compartmentalize those feelings. Like the therapist does the same thing. They don't take on your problems. They just talk you through it and maybe help you see something that you didn't see that's causing you to feel that way, or maybe give you another way to deal with it.
I will always say
you might not know yourself.
I will always say the stronger tie emotionally would be the person who built the house themselves, right? The person who has invested in that, the foundation, invested in the structure, invested in the solution, because they know that's the path that they chose. They weren't guided there by somebody else who might have had other. I want to be able to build that path myself, and I take pride in that. I always will.
By all means, sure, but you have to be given the proper tools to do this. That's all we're saying.
Yeah.
Your uncle gave them to you. Therapists give them to other folks. It's just one of those things.
Facts.
And then you take you take those tools that are given to you, and then now you do what you have to do with it. Now you build properly or you don't build properly, but you can't complain that you weren't given the right tools.
That's all it is. Coach gave you the blueprint, the plan, and you went out and executed. That's all.
That's it.
Pretty much to a T, Capo.
There's another half of this conversation that we have to address, which is, well, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's do it this way. Because it's not going to be a Sparring Minds show if I don't laugh and have some fun, right? Like, this is kind of heavy. This is kind of, like, it's 5 against 1. Like, get the fuck out of here. So let's do this.
You're out of order. You're out of order. The whole trial is out of order. They're out of order.
It's time for people's sport.
Can I just say I love that drop, by the way? That's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite segments, me. So, Reef, you tuned into the show. Sparring Minds listeners, you've tuned into the show. People's Court is where we take a legal situation that has happened, and we either... I forget what we do. I think we either guilty or innocent, I think is where we are with People's Court at this point, right? So, let me read you the docket, but in the first time in Sparring Minds history, we have a civil complaint. Cool. We've never had a civil complaint as it relates to People's Court. So, there is a wife, married, of course, wife, Charles. A married woman.
Hello.
So, really?
Married woman who works as a nurse practitioner, right, for a private entity, a private doctor. And after a extraordinarily busy period at this private office, the doctor says, hey, listen, here's $2,500 as a bonus. I know it's been crazy, but busy around here. I want you to take a week away and really go invest in your mental health. Come back strong and better than ever. Right?
Guy doctor?
Yeah, guy doctor. Yeah.
Okay.
So she does just that while she's at the office. Great, I'm going to book a trip to Fiji. Books a trip to Fiji for one person round trip. Gets home, starts packing. Husband's like, hey, babe, what the fuck is going on? You're packing the bag. Yeah, my boss just got me some bonus money and I'm going to Fiji.
Yo, what is up with you?
Guess what race it is?
Husband tight on multiple fronts here. First off, after she explains that she's going away to get a mental health break, husband's like, hey, first off, you're dumb selfish to travel alone by yourself and going to Fiji without me. Second off, why the fuck do you need a mental health day from me? Like, you can just stay home, right? And we can just be together for the week. The husband is innocent or guilty for the emotional distress that he has now laid on his wife. Let's start with you, Reef, because you're a guest of the show. Not often do we deal with civil cases.
What?
This is a case where
time out.
the wife now is dealing with emotional distress, and that's what brings her to the court. So is the husband guilty or innocent?
Oh. The husband is not guilty, for sure. And yeah, this is a wild case. I don't see how it could go for the woman at all, because like he said what he said, well, like whatever he felt, but like, are you not allowed to express your feelings to your wife?
Yeah.
And so there's no way she should have emotional distress because he just expressed how he felt. I mean, I could see that she's probably like, why can't I just do my thing? Like, why you gotta sweat me? Let me just go ahead and do this. And
why you gotta sweat me?
You married, bitch.
That's wild. That's a wild statement to say. Hey, what?
Basically, I make a big deal.
Where's the receipt? I'm returning this bitch.
The facts.
Yo, are you kidding me?
Facts. High Tower, talk to me, brother.
So let me get this right. This lady is dealing with stress from work.
Correct.
Her boss notices this.
Correct.
Gives her a bonus, tells her to take some time off to get her stuff together.
Correct.
She decides to do that without her husband.
Yes.
Now her husband's upset that she's making this decision to go travel by herself.
Correct.
He's a clown.
I tell
He's guilty. Why can't she travel by herself to get her mental health together?
But is that answering the question?
Yeah, the husband's guilty. He's only adding to it.
And that's your super
Jesus Christ.
Because not only is she stressed at work, now she's stressed at home because he's on her case about not going on a trip with her. She can't travel by herself.
She's coming back and he's gone.
I don't know how y'all do it, man, but you gotta let your lady do her thing sometimes, man. It don't gotta be about me.
Listen, there has to be some type of conversation. There has to be some type of communication about what's going on. Like, as she's packing the bag to go the fuck out to Fiji.
Yeah, that's spectacular. That's spectacular.
Come on, Ant, you know better than that.
Yo,
you fuck around and pack a bag, talk about I need a mental health break. My fucking bosses gave me 25,000 Casey a fucking hit you upside the head with a shovel and the rose. Fuck out of here. You must be crazy.
And the rose, not and the rose too, little.
And the rose.
Listen,
cut that shit.
He asked the question. He got his answer. That should have been the end of it right there.
Nah, it doesn't work like that.
No, that's incredible. You can't be serious.
It doesn't work like that.
I don't believe if you were in this situation that it would be like you trying to tell me you came home, you saw Casey packing her bags, ready to fly out the country, and you're like, "Yo, what's up?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm out of here," because my boss hooked me up. You're just dropping it. That's what you're saying.
No, there's a conversation there, but I'm not going to add any additional stress to it.
Right.
Make it worse.
But you're already stressing her by basically based off of this. You're already stressing her by even asking her what's going on.
No, you can always ask always ask your partner what's going on. Whether you would like the answer or not, it's up to you. But you're always free to ask any question you want.
Yo, Maine, is it a slap in the face to you if your girl needs a mental health break from you?
I don't think so, because I think me and Mark, we get on each other's nerves. So I definitely know sometimes we we need breaks. But our breaks usually consists of me going to the living room to watch the game, her staying in the room. So that's about the extent of the mental health breaks we get. But absolutely, they're needed. But yeah, if I came home and I was packing a bag and she's like, "Yo, what's going on?" I'm like, "I'm leaving." Like, are you kidding me?
Well, I'm leaving is different than I'm just taking a quick trip.
It's the same thing.
However you say it,
you say I'm leaving sounds a little more detrimental than just.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm taking some time off. I'll be back next Tuesday.
Yeah. So she's like, "Where you going?" "Oh yeah, I'm going to Fiji by myself for like a week because my boss gave me $2,400."
And my boss is of the opposite sex. Yeah. Okay. Come on. No, not gonna happen.
No. I don't think that's the bigger issue. I just think the communication part of it is just no way that could happen. It's more the
communication could have been better, but
yeah,
she's not wrong for taking that trip by herself.
It'll just raise a whole nother antenna.
Yeah. That's little for you.
I'm just. That's why I asked: was this a male doctor or a female doctor? He said male. First of all, you said 2,500, 25,000.
2,500.
Okay. Yeah. I need to know that. I need to know this.
And you know.
What do you think? He's knocking it down? That's what it seems like you're getting to. Like he's knocking it down.
I ain't never had a boss that was that free with throwing even $100 around because they see you having a bad day at work. Like, come on now, no.
I take a bigger offense to the fact that she needs. Fabian once told me she needed a mental health day for me, and I told her. Come on, man. You can't be serious, man. I think I take more umbrage to the fact that she wants a mental health break. You know what I mean? I take more of that. Like, why?
Jesus.
Like we built this life together. You see what I'm saying? We've kind of everything we've done, this journey that we're on, it's with both of us in mind. And for now, you need some kind of mental health break. That don't necessarily jive with me. Something's off with that. That means it's probably a problem within my home. So the question I have, and I'm gonna start with you, Reef, is how much of your individual mental health is tied to your spouse?
Hold up, Reef. Before you answer that, let me just say, Chuck, that's hella vain. But go ahead, Reef.
The statement is hella vain?
Yeah.
Explain.
Your wife can't have a mental health day unless it involves you to some degree?
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
That's vain.
Hold on. I didn't even weigh in either.
Go ahead, Perry.
I feel he's guilty for a whole nother reason. Because from the sounds of it, she sounds like she's a pain in the ass her damn self. So he take her mental health break as his own and get your shit together too. So like
I dig it.
Her like a pain in the ass. You her mental health break as your mental health break. Go somewhere or just be around the house by yourself and chill out while she's gone and enjoy the peace and quiet, brother.
Yeah.
It's underrated.
Well said. Well said, Pim. So, Reese, before I go to you with that question, we're not, Sparring Minds, y'all know me well enough to know we're not going to let Ed just hit me with a jab and walk off like that. That's not what we're going to do, right? Get the fuck out of here saying that that's vain. I am the epitome of...
Jesus Christ.
Now we know this is some bullshit.
Jesus.
No, just get on with it, man.
Go ahead, Nori. Go ahead. Finish setting us up in a while.
I know, right?
Go ahead, Nori.
I solve mental health issues. I don't cause them, right? So if you in a weird space mentally, you want to be around people like me because I'm the one who can make everything okay. So get the fuck out of here saying it's vain for me to be like, yo, Ed, you be on some other shit, man. That's why this show always ends in the weird fashions because you don't know how to. Reef, let's go back to my question.
Hold up. We're not going there yet. Now, see, earlier in the show, Chuck was talking about everybody has to self-soothe and all this other stuff, but now he has to be in the equation. Can't have it both ways.
Touche.
Pow.
All right, so Reef Chuck was saying, go ahead.
Go ahead, Reeve. Talk to us, man.
Yeah, I forgot the question. My bad.
That happens around here. Bro. Yeah, that happens around here, brother. How is your mental health? Is your mental well-being something that your spouse is responsible for?
Responsible for? No. I think understanding and providing that opportunity, absolutely.
Isn't that still part of responsible?
Responsible to a certain extent, yeah. By providing opportunity, yeah, for sure. But I guess when I was thinking of responsible, I'm thinking it's more like, that person needs to be, take it off your plate that you're not going to wash the dishes tonight, you're not going to cook dinner tonight, or whatever, without you actually communicating that. Yeah, it would be nice for them to do that, but like, if you don't communicate to them that you're in a bad place right now and you need some time away from doing whatever you normally do, then yeah, you got to communicate that. But I don't think they're responsible for just knowing that and just doing things for you, or whatever, providing your mental health. Give the opportunity just by talking to you and hearing you out.
Some fellas, I'm making a couple notes here, but this might be one of the first times I gotta think back. We've been at this almost 100 episodes.
100.
This might be one of the first times in the history of Sparring Minds where the guest has been totally wrong on the topic. I'm gonna go through my notes.
Jesus Christ. yo, you gotta relax.
But as I go through the notes, Payne, explain to Reef why he's wrong.
I don't know how. I don't think he's wrong, but I don't think he's fully right. Yeah, I think there's a percentage that
there is a percentage. Yeah.
And it's not a big percentage though. It may be quarter or a third of it. As excuse me, because the understanding and the and communication, as he said, like that, I think that's part of being responsible for it. But I think that's only a quarter of it. The other 75% of it is up to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Charles, you just said it.
Like sometimes if there's a situation or like they're not, or they're causing your mental health to be, sometimes you just gotta step away, and that's on you. It's not up to them to meet you the other 75% of the way.
Yeah. Are you communicating this? Are you having these conversations about it? You know what I'm saying? That's important and tied into it as well too. People aren't mind readers, so yeah. It's important to communicate and say what's on your mind and stuff like that.
So Chuck's wrong again?
He definitely is.
Listen, 100 episodes coming up. Chuck's been wrong 97% of them. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, we still love him though.
A couple things on this. Unless you wanted to jump in on this real quick. Got a couple.
No, go ahead.
Right?
Run with it.
So the first thing is that you guys hear me talk weekly about how important the dating stage is, right? So in the dating stage is when you kind of lay out your needs. Not just sexually, because black people do that shit all the time, right? Oh yeah, I gotta make sure I fuck every 4 times a week. Okay.
Wait.
Right.
Time out. So you're saying you need what? Because I know what I think I know what you're gonna get into, but you're saying basically that you need your spouse to sit there and be 100% the blueprint, so that you can go out and kind of get your mind right and get back together.
Chuck don't know what he's saying.
Yeah, I know.
Let him finish.
But just a little while ago, you just said that your uncles raised you a certain way, where they just told you certain things, and you felt fulfilled when you did it on your own and got through certain issues.
That's true. That's dealing with trauma. That's dealing with trauma.
Why? No, is it
trauma, mental health? You name it.
It's mental health. No, it's all the same. No, it's not.
I disagree. I don't think it is. I would like to finish my statement if that's okay with you, Mr. Little. If that works in your favor.
I mean, if you're stuck, just say you're stuck, and you can finish your statement.
Use the dating stage as an opportunity to lay down your blueprint for success, right? That means that I want a blowjob every 3 days. That's what that means. But then also secondarily,
Pause.
Yo, like, I go through these things, I go through these feelings, I go through these thoughts, and here's how I'd like, you to help manage that and navigate that path, because we're gonna be together. That's our journey. I've told you guys 1,000 times also on this show, right? If I do for you, you do for me, we're both done for. If I pour her a glass of water and she pours me a glass of water, we both have water, we're both full. So that's
Why
my
don't you just pour your own water?
I've always been, I don't have that need because you picked the right person to be with, right? That's some Hightower shit, right? Where you take care of yourself and you leave. Did I tell you I'll tell you the story later. We'll get back to that. Your job when you settle down with somebody is to take care of their needs, bro. That's your job, right?
Mm-hmm.
And mental health is a part of this conversation, right? So Reef made a point about, well, once it's communicated, then you get the fuck out of here, Reef. You knew up front what her needs were in terms of, I think you mentioned dishes, I believe it was, or something of that nature, right? And so you know what it is up front. You can step in early and be like, no, don't even worry about those. I already got it handled. The best way to deal with these kind of situations is to nip it before it happens. Going back to my earlier stuff about dealing with things internally so it doesn't happen later. So that's all this is about. So no, deal with the problem for your partner. Take care of your partner. That's your job. You're not just there for sex, man. It's for more than that. For more than that. Go ahead, Ed.
Listen, I'm all for being there for your partner and supporting your partner and all of that great stuff, because when that's done properly, good things happen.
Everything flows.
But
Okay.
the baseline in all of this is this. I'm responsible for my mental health. My wife is responsible for her mental health. Now, whatever role I play in affecting her mental health is on me for my part, and it's on her for her part of allowing whatever I'd said or did to affect her mental health. So no, my job isn't to always be the surgeon to solve any issues that she has for herself. My job is to support her through whatever issue she's dealing with for herself. So her mental health is 100% on her. My job is to minimize my part in diminishing or affecting her mental health.
Too, yeah.
Exactly. 100%. I agree.
Church.
It's no surprise on this show
Jesus Christ.
that Jermaine and Sammy agree with anything that Hightower says. I just think that Hightower might be like the cool kids club, and so whatever Ed says is like, I agree.
I'm in the cool kids club too, so no.
Fabian, please go get the cheese. Go get the cheese, Fabian.
Reef, the last thing I want to get into on this is really, and you and I and Hightower spoke about this once offline, just in a random conversation. But we were talking about the nature of black people, us as a people coming up through trials and tribulations, coming up through struggle, and how much those struggles have led to mental health issues. Right? And so I guess one of my biggest things is, how do you see us as a people coming out victorious against a battle that's waged 40, 50 years ago, in terms of how our families have been broken, how our education systems have been lacking? How can we overcome the mental health issues that have been born from those very real instances?
That's a intricate question.
See, Sparring Minds, listen, man. We have some fun around here, but we get down to it too. Like we get busy over here too with real life shit. So I don't want y'all to just be like, they over there and they're just gonna fart on the show and then man, we have some fun, man. So pardon me, Reef. Go ahead. Yeah. So we've been born through a lot of trauma. We're born through a lot of bullshit, but there has to be a victory for us on the other end of this, right? On the under end of this mental health trauma that we've sustained. So, what does that solution look like? What does that path look like? I mean, listening to pain, it sounds like get therapy. I don't think that's the case. So, what's the next steps as a people, as a culture?
I think honestly, it's to do what you got to do to take care of yourself, and that is going to magnify and spread, and your whatever you do to take care of yourself is always, it makes you a better person for everybody else around you. So that is how it's going to spread, and from there, of course we're moving just as a people, moving in a direction, in a positive direction, trying to get some changes, a lot of changes done to to combat all of the things that obviously 40, 50 years ago that you're talking about. We still see images of it. We still see policies. We still see a lot of things in place that remind us of those things every day. And so we're moving in the right direction as a whole, just trying to get some things changed. But I just think taking care of you, like that is you doing your part. If you can do more than that, then you would have the best answer to this. All right. So if you take care of yourself, that's great. But if you can do a lot more than that, those are the people who eventually have the best answers for how to get out of it. But take care of yourself first.
Hi, Tawa. Let me ask you a question, man.
Touché, Reef.
I find myself stressed because I am unable to provide proper housing for my family. Right?
Charles, cut the shit.
I'm asking a question, little.
Oh, okay.
So I find myself stressed because I'm unable to provide proper housing. There's a system that we've grown with in the United States of America that's causing this problem, right? So you understand the cause, you understand the effect that it's now having on me, right? Reef's answer of work on myself doesn't solve the cause of this problem. Where the mental health issues that I'm going through, the stresses that I'm going through, aren't caused by me. It's caused by factors outside of my control, right? So I can't solve that. I can't go into the bank and say, lend me money, even though I'm black, but lend it to me fairly so that I'm not paying 5% on my mortgage. Lend it to me fairly so that you're not just looking at credit history, that things that you aren't supposed to be looking at, right? Lend it to me fairly. So these are what we're talking about here, right? That's the root of the problem. I can't control the problem, but you guys are telling me to solve it. And what's my step? What do I do?
How you react to those situations, I think, is what Reef is talking about. Some people react negatively and then they try to solve situations on their own. They go on a crime spree. They try to do some dirt to kind of, be sneaking and get ahead.
Yeah.
I think that the situation is, sure, there's situations around us that create these unfortunate cases, but how you respond to them is probably most important than solving the issue itself, because you can't solve the issue yourself. The issue has to be solved on a greater scale, but how you respond to those issues and how you react, respond, overcome is totally up to, dependent on you and how you move. If you move a certain way, you'll respond accordingly. So if you find yourself in a situation where, you can't provide housing for your family, some people are going to revert back to doing dirt and trying to find fast money. Other folks are going to, find other avenues on the positive note to kind of solve that situation. So it just comes down to, the individual and how they manage that. And that's what Reef's talking about in terms of being a better person. Because a lot of us can easily make a phone call if we decided to and go back and do some dirt. But we also know where that dirt leads you to. It leads you to the dirt in most cases. So,
or them bars.
Or them bars, you see what I mean? So that's ultimately what it comes down to. So no, you're not solving the issue, but you are reacting to it to not make the issue any worse.
There are just so many examples. I just use housing there as an example of issues that the black community is dealing with that in turn really presented huge problems to the men in our community because we had to try to fix those problems, right? Like, we had to try to fix what was going on with that housing situation. Jermaine, you know, you go into the hospital and they're not willing to perform this surgery for your son that he needs because all this red tape and things outside of your concern, outside of your control. And now you're at home, you're stressed out about it. You're going through mental anguish as anybody would. Because this is a major problem that's outside of my control and I can't solve, right? It just told me, well, your reaction is what dictates everything else. That hasn't solved my problem. So
Right.
yeah, I'm gonna have an adverse reaction,
Yo,
but I
yo,
still have the problem.
But sometimes you gotta
See John
understand.
Q? You ever seen John Q? The movie John Q? Well then, that might have to be how I react. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So now, who does that help?
Hey, but
right.
sometimes you gotta understand that maybe you might not be able to get those things, and you may have to sit there and just deal with it.
So I can't get fair housing. I can't
you
get
may not.
medical care.
You may not get the housing that you want. You may not be able to buy that house. You may not be able to get that apartment. You may have to settle for something different. Just from step one, you may have to go into a shelter. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to do something crazy, stupid, where, yeah.
But see,
go ahead, Pam. I'm sorry.
That just opened a whole nother can of worms, because that's a lot of what leads to shit that plagues the hood with crime, drugs.
You're right.
And that people self-medicating or doing shit to take out their frustrations or whatever. That's why I'm like, therapy is good. Like, it don't got to be an actual therapist. If you have someone to talk to, that can be therapy. Like, when I talk to my two best friends, or my three best friends, I should say, that's therapy for me. Like, on top of the therapy I go to now. You know what I mean? So it's always good. Like, that self-medicating with a bunch of alcohol or over drinking or over smoking. I mean, cool. To drink occasionally, cool to smoke, occasionally. But there's dudes that's just high from 6 a.m. till they go back to sleep at night.
Trying to hide the pain. Yeah, trying to hide the pain. Trying to hide that pain.
Once you come down from that high or being drunk, the problem is still there.
It's still right there. And maybe even more.
Yeah, because you wasted a day.
Yeah.
And that's not taking care of yourself.
Nope.
Damn, that's an amazing closing statement, Reef. I'm gonna go self-medicate by playing Division.
I'm gonna go self-medicate by puff pass.
Before we go start our own self-care, little mirror time, God.
Today's mirror time is make your mental health a priority. It's just real simple.
That's right. I love it. Reef, thank you for joining us, God.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Next week, I promise you, is the best episode of the season.
Oh, it's 100.
And it's my birthday. So take the day off from work.
That's the one you want to be at. There's probably going to be a body bag on the show. Stay tuned for that.
In this corner.